Grand rising, grand arrival, grand return. Peace and blessings to the righteous and the repentant alike. I am Cleopadra Sophia the Bodhi, and this is a video that I have been dying to make. I'm very excited to present to you the Spiritual Freedom Tzolk'in Cycle. This is a calendar that I've been working on, trying to determine how we engage in the Jubilee. Now, everyone has heard the term Jubilee. They know that it's a date. They know that it's a time. They know that it's a plan. But you can live every day in Jubilee if you follow this particular cycle, this particular calendar. And the calendar is related to the Tzolk'in, but it's not the traditional Tzolk'in, the way that it has been passed down or the way that it has been presented online. This counting of the days, which is what a Tzolk'in is, this counting of the days integrates the theories and the philosophies of the original Tzolk'in with the modern technology of today. What I have done is I have created a product and a process that integrates all the things we love about the old calendar and the old way of doing time and the old way of doing religion with the new technology that we have access to. One of the things we have access to now that we did not have thousands of years ago is all of these different celestial bodies. Now, I know we knew about a lot of them, but we didn't know about all of them. And with modern technology, we have access to far more information about the astronomy of our universe than we ever have. We can see things going on the sun, for example, that were invisible to the naked eye. And it's not saying that people didn't have calendars, not calendars, but telescopes and other things that they could use before to calculate these things. But a lot of that information, again, has been lost. It has basically just been elevated to the trash heap of history. And the people who are keepers of the calendar, who are keepers of the time, who are keepers of the divination techniques, many of them have lost the understanding of what these things are. And that's because they've been trying to maintain the tradition. In the time that we're moving into, traditions have to be questioned. Things have to be understood. Magic isn't going to work just because it worked before. And that's the main thing that I have found out over these last 3 years as Saturn has been transiting, right, Pisces, and it gets ready to move into Aries with Neptune at the same time. The old way of doing things, and it's not that it was bad, but there's new technologies available. A lot of people are worried about AI and what the AI world is going to mean, but there's no need to fear AI, just like there's no need to fear new technologies, new ways of engaging in religion. The old elites are really the servants. Humanity in general are the recipients of that servitude. So these old elites are supposed to be serving the humans of the new world. And how do you become a new world human if you're going off old world information? A lot of people have been looking back in order to bring from the past things that will help them in the future, but they haven't been modernizing them along the way. And so that's what this spiritual freedom is about uniting the creator with all of his parts instead of worshiping the creator one part here, one part there. And that's basically what we've seen for the last 100 years. Not 100 years, 1,000 years, 2,000, 3,000 years. People have been trying to work with and worship the creator in separate entities, in separate parts, as was done by their fathers and their fathers' fathers and their fathers' fathers. But if you go back to the beginning of time and the beginning of creation, the first 7 days, or 12 days is the way that I perceive it, you will see that we worship the Creator as one. And what did that mean? What did that look like? That's what I think this spiritual freedom is. It's the freedom to worship all parts of the Creator, to work with all parts of the Creator, and maintain our humanity. So we have a Tzolk'in cycle that covers 260 days, but there's a Tzolk'in calendar that covers the full 365 days, with one day out of time being the 365th day. I have more videos explaining this in greater detail, but I just want to lay this out in the beginning because I want people to understand the spiritual freedom is about following a calendar that allows you to work with all the various entities when they're in their full power. Because the Creator, he created everything. He didn't just create the good things. He created the bad things, and he created the not so good things and things in the middle. He created all things. And so if the Creator created all things, that means that I can worship the Creator in spirit and truth by working with all the things that he created. Now, does this mean that I have to work with everything? No. So that's what the calendar does. That's what the Tzolk'in cycle, I call it the Jubilee Tzolk'in, with market calendar and Hebrew feast days. It's about working with, it's about understanding how astrology, astronomy, all these various pantheons, the moon and all its various data points, the sun and all its various data points, along with the seasonal cycles, how all of these things work together so that you can have the ability to live a spiritually free life. In 2014, 2015 around, I first learned of two very, very important things. One was sacred geometry. The other thing that I learned about was anthroposophy, which is the study of wisdom, the study of wisdom as an entity. And I also learned about Cicada 3301. And Cicada 3301 was or is or has been a cryptology competition for people to watch a particular video and to decipher the meaning of the video and the secrets of the video by watching it. And one of the main theories of the last real Cicada 3301 video around that time, 2015, 2014, 2016, something like that, was the only way out is in. And so I have taken that as my main philosophy since that time, because if you're dealing with anthroposophy, you're also dealing with the only way out is in. But when you say in, that's a very, very broad term, because does that mean internal? Does that mean just inside? Does that mean inside you? Does that mean inside the system? It could be taken in various different ways. And so what I recently updated my software, updated my operating system, my matrix, to mean when you say the only way out is in, is the only way out is integration. You have to integrate your mind, body, and spirit. You cannot have your mind running one program, your body running a second program, and your spirit running a third program. What they have done in this inverted matrix is they have separated out all these little pieces from humanity and have them all running on separate operating systems. What spiritual freedom is, and what the Tzolk'in cycle does, is it helps you to run all of these systems together simultaneously, all with the same goal. And the goal is to bring you spiritual freedom, to bring you jubilee. The in could also mean energy. The only way out is energy. Energy is money. There is no physical money. The physical money is a representation of your energy. And if you have a lot of money, then you should be having a lot of energy. But that's not the case. What people who, the entities who have harvested and also hoarded all of this money have is the capacity to manage a lot of energy, to control a lot of energy using Neptune specifically, because Neptune is the great deceiver, but is also the great awakener along with Uranus. So if you integrate all of these things together, meaning the spiritual side, the physical side, and the mental side, if you bring all of these things together in one cohesive unit, that means you basically have access to all the things that come along with that. So by harvesting out our energy, i.e. having us work jobs we don't like, having us go to churches that are against our best interests, having us participate in activities that do not bring us joy and to make us happy, what they've done by separating out all these pieces of us is made it easier for them to harvest our energy and also to manipulate our energy. And so what the spiritual freedom is, what the Jubilee cycle does, is it brings you into full awareness of who you are on all levels across all timelines. In uniting the pantheons, which is what the Tzolk'in, Jubilee Tzolk'in cycle does, spiritual freedom is unites the pantheons. In uniting the pantheons and the entities, you are able to serve at the pleasure of the Creator. The Creator is not simple. The Creator is very complex, and therefore it may require you to participate in different pantheons, in different things that are foreign to you. And that does not mean worshiping foreign gods, but these things have been separated from us. Long ago, all of these things were united. This is why you have pyramids all over the world. This is why you have so-called Egyptian writing all over the world in a multiple of places. It's because the people, humanity was united. And since they have separated humanity, not by land, but by class and ability to control and manipulate, and this illegal and immoral slavery, because you have humanity separated into all these various different groups, instead of saying, hey, I'm a human and you're a human, let's work together so that we can live the best life that we can possibly live. By having everyone separate, you're unable to access all of the energy that you have assigned to you, and therefore it can be harvested from you. So I use the Bible a lot. The Bible is my foundation. I refer to it as a bibliography. When you go into the Bible, you can see great deals of information, gain great understandings that go way beyond what your pastor is teaching you at church every Sunday. And it's not that we want to denigrate these individuals who have taken on this role of leadership, but this is a personal job. This is an inside job, right? An integration job. This is not something that someone can do for you from the outside. What I do is present information. What I've done is brought everything together, but you have to do the work for yourself on the inside. I can't do that work for you. As much as I would like to, I can't do that work for you. All I can do is help you understand more about yourself. So one of the things that I offer is basically Akashic Records reading. I have a basic Akashic Records reading that I recommend people over 18, obviously, but under 36 get. And then when you turn 36, there's another reading that I offer that's more complex. The reason why I don't offer the complex reading, which is called Mayan Chanting, these are Akashic Records readings. The reason why I don't offer that reading to younger individuals is because you want to live life to the fullest. In order for this planet to work, we have to share energy. And if you have too much understanding of your exact specific purpose, you are less likely to share energy. So there's a less or simpler, a less complex reading called My Enchanting. That's an Akashic Records reading that will give you the basics so that you can basically go in the right direction. When you turn 36, that is when your energetic body comes into its adulthood. And from that point, you have the capacity to accomplish a lot of things. And there's a lot of things you have to learn. You're moving into a different era. The energy works for you differently. From age 0 to 18, which I recommend people in that age group, the parents get their astrology charts done. That's a reading that I do offer for children, just a children's astrology reading. And that will just help you know the basics about what your child is actually interested in based on their chart. Everything is in your chart, but everything is in your chart, but it's not only in your chart. That's the best way to put it. And so for if you have children, that's what I recommend. You get a basic astrology reading for them so that you can understand what kind of children they are. So for example, I have a son. He is very close to turning 5 years old, and he is his first planet in his chart, that's first, solid planet, not just a point or hypothetical, whatever, is Venus. And so he is a very, very emotional, and also he likes like expensive things, but he's also very like touchy-feely. Like, he likes to be around, especially women. He likes to be around women. He likes to be close to people. And so that is an energy that's not present in my older children. That's not their first planet. And so therefore, I know that he's going to need more physical attention because that is what is in his chart. Okay, those are kind of things that could be helpful. My middle daughter, she has very prominent placements that have to deal with royalty, like princess type behavior, and people who give back to the arts, patrons of the arts. But she also has a lot of placements that are related to pottery and things like that. So I send her to a school where they have a pottery kiln. That's kind of something that she is going to take with her throughout her life. She's going to be interested in that. So I went out of my way to find a place where she could do that as a part of their core educational system, as opposed to being a peripheral thing on the side somewhere. So those are the kinds of things that can be helpful when you're looking at charts of children. So from 0 to 18, that's what I recommend. From 18 to 36, that's when you would get a more complicated reading. It's called a fruits of the tree and the roots of the tree reading. Those two readings together will tell you what your childhood issues may have been so that you can resolve them, and also what lessons you're going to be learning between the ages of 18 and 36. Okay, so with those two readings, like those two readings for the 18 to 36 age group, you will be able to see what your major lesson is for the year, and also how you will deal with it. Because when you turn 36, the energy doesn't come at you one energy per year or one planet per year to learn. Now you're getting one planet every 36 days to work with and to learn the energy. This is what I call, or what I describe, worshiping God, not in separation, which is, oh, well, I'm this, so that I don't look at that, or I'm a Christian, so I can't look at the astrology or the tarot or other divination techniques. This is what I describe as worshiping the Creator in His fullness. He created all things. He even created the fallen watchers, the fallen angels, that we call them the Dare Kadeshi, and also the demons. He created all of them. Now, does everyone have the capacity to work with all of these different entities? It depends on your chart. those things you can definitely tell in your chart, and other things that you would get in the My Enchanting reading, that or the My Enchanting reading of your Akashic records, that would be helpful for you to know which entities you should lean to. So for example, if you have a lot of Scorpio placements like I do, then you work a lot with the fallen entities, the ones that and they're not fallen, they're physical. They manifest in physical ways. So as you can see, I have on my silver now. That's because I have to work with the things in a more physical manner at this time, and a lot of women would have to be in more physical things, whereas if you saw videos from me over the summer, I was not wearing hardly any jewelry, just the bare minimum, and really keeping it light and also keeping it gold. Now we're in silver energy. It's time to harness and tap in to the moon as a satellite and all of the different benefits it provides from that perspective. Okay. So the last thing I'll say in this video is or a reminder. I've already said it, but I'll say it again. This is not really going to be a long video. This is just a basic introduction to get some of these things out there so people can begin to think about them. What we do on this channel is we integrate new technologies with old understandings of wisdom. The wisdom from the ancients is still as valuable and as potent as ever. We just now have the capacity to organize it with new technologies, i.e. AI, also what they use to monitor the sun, the planets, the astronomy, the different ways of calculating the placements in the sky. All of those things become vastly more important once they're available. And like I said, before they weren't available, they weren't as easy to access. But with the internet, even the internet is a new technology which I'm using to communicate this message that we didn't have before. So I invite people to participate with our 260-day cycle. There will be videos every day for these 260 days that talk about the energy for the day. It is 20 sets of 13 cycles. That's how the energy is broken down for a total of 260 days. There are 5 main points in which this energy manifests, which is north, south, east, west, and matrix, which is what's on top. It's the on top energy, and we're going to dive deep into all of this information in a comprehensive way for this 260-day cycle. So if that's something that you're interested in, please feel free to join us here on this channel. I have multiple other channels which I will mention and link in the description if you are interested in learning different things that we talk about. But I wanted to do this as a standalone channel, a standalone video, just to explain everything that is going on, because there's a lot of things going on and a lot of it is new, and there's also quite a few bad actors, and the bad actors will be flushed out as you dive deeper in, which is integration. As you dive deeper in as an integration, as you integrate all the parts of yourself together as we used to be, then you will have the capacity to identify these bad actors and these things that are out of alignment. This is about bringing alignment within yourself, between all the parts of the Creator, instead of separating pieces of the Creator out and worshiping Him separately. And so that is how you can tell if someone is out of alignment. If they have a work self that's different from their home self, that's different from their church self, these are people who are probably out of alignment. This is how we see with public figures. A public figure is in public is one way, in private is another way. We're supposed to be the same all day, every day. The Creator is the same today, yesterday, and forever. Does that mean we don't learn new things? Does that mean we don't try new things? Does that mean we don't do new things? No. But who you are on the inside, that underlying part of you, remains the same. And so my Akashic Records readings help with that. and a wide variety of readings that I have that I don't talk about too much anymore can all be found on my website, which is fruitsandspirit.com, and you can read about them. And if you're interested in any of those readings, please feel free to send me an email, just so I can make sure before you purchase that is the proper reading for you. I'm also willing to do consultations. Just send me an email, and my email is in the description. So thank you so much for listening. Shalom, peace and blessings, and we'll see you in the next video.